Hello, this is Priscilla, and welcome to the Conversational Hour. Our topic for today is a long life. I hope that each of you will enjoy this lesson. It is for the advanced, intermediate, and the beginner. We will read. We will have an opportunity for each of you to engage in conversational English. We'll do a little bit of a dialogue, create our own mini story, and learn a lot of vocabulary. So let's get started. For those of you who are on the sidelines or in the sidebar, thank you for joining us today. And of course, if you have questions, if you will post your questions, I will try and answer those for you as well. My name is Priscilla, and I'm happy to be your coach for the hour. And I'd like to welcome Roxana. Roxana, how are you today?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you.
Great. It's good to have you. It's good to have you joining us today. And where are you calling in from today, Roxana?
From Russia, from St. Petersburg. It's morning here.
Okay. Well, welcome. Welcome. And morning meaning what time of day is it for you?
9 o'clock.
Okay, so you've had breakfast, I would imagine.
Yes.
Okay.
I just had.
You just finished breakfast. Okay, well, breakfast is good. Breakfast is what adds to us having a very long life. And that is our topic for today. Our topic for today is a long life. So how long do you plan to live? How long would you love to live, Roxana?
I would like to have a long life.
Okay.
Maybe at least 80 80 year.
Okay. 80 sounds good to me. I want to live to be 125. After that, after that, I think it's okay. I'll go on. Well, that's a nice number, I think. Hello, Natalia. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. And
Good.
you?
I'm doing awesome. It's good to have you here. It's good to have you here this morning. And how long would you like to live? Would you like to live to be 250 or 252? How long would you like to live? Natalia?
One moment, please.
Okay.
I have some problems.
Okay. So, Roxana, what do you think? If you live to be 250, then your children would be 100 years old and they could help take care of you. You could help take care of them. Wouldn't that be interesting?
I think so. Yes, of course.
And you,
it, it's a lot of time to study something and time
hmm
for traveling and time for everything.
yeah, playing with the grandkids. Yeah,
It's very important to have a good health in
yes.
this year because if you have a lot of disease, it's awful.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I hope to be in good health. If I live to be 90, 100, or 250, I hope to have good health. So let's take a look and say hello to Miad. Hello, Miad. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. We were just talking about how long we might want to live. Do you think you would like to live to be 250 years of age?
No, I don't want.
Okay. Well, what is a good number for you?
Um, I think 20 is good.
20?
Yes.
Oh,
No
no.
more life.
Oh, well, that's too young. That would be going too soon. All right. Let me pull in today's lesson and we'll get started. Today's topic is a long life, and we're going to talk about how people care for people who are aged. And this is a lady, her name is Nancy. The opportunity to engage in conversation will be made available to each of you. So we're going to get started. let's see. A long life. There we have it. Okay. So let's see, who should we start with? Okay, let's start with Roxana. Roxana, well, no, what I'll do first, let me read first. I want each of you to pay close attention to the way that I read. Notice how I will stop at periods. I will slow down for about 2 seconds at commas, and all of other punctuation most likely will get a 3-minute or 3-second pause. Here we go. A long life. Nancy wants to live a long life. She wants to live for 100 years. She is 5 years old now. She wants to live 95 more years. Then she will be 100. Her father is 30 years old. He wants to live a long time too. He wants to live for 100 years. He wants to live for 70 more years. Daddy, will we grow old together? Okay, Nancy said to her father. Yes, honey, we will grow old together, he said to Nancy. Then Nancy smiled. She gave her daddy a big hug. All right. The vocabulary in this lesson is not that great, but we can add vocabulary based upon your level. So, are there questions about what I just read?
No, it's clear.
Okay. So, Roxana, would you read for us?
Nancy wants to live a long time. She wants to live for 100 years. She is 5 years old now. She wants to live 95 more years. Then she will be 100. Her father is 30 years old. He wants to live a long time too. He wants to live for 100 years. He wants to live for 70 more years. Daddy, we will grow old together, okay? Nancy said to her father. Yes, honey, we will grow old together, he said to Nancy. Then Nancy smiled. She gave her daddy a big hug.
Okay, good. Nice reading as well. Any questions?
No.
Okay, can you quickly summarize what you read for me?
It was conversation between Nancy and her daddy. Nancy said that it was about that Nancy wants to live for 100 years, and now she's 5 years old, and her daddy is 30 years old, and he wants to live for 100 years too. And in the end of the topic, Nancy said, we will grow old together, and Daddy agreed with her.
Okay, fantastic, and a nice summary. Thank you for that. Okay, Natalia, would you read for us?
Okay. Nancy wants to live a long time. She wants to live for 100 years. She is 5 years old now. She wants to live 95 more years. Then she will be 100. Her father is 30 years old. He wants to live a long time too. He wants to live for 100 years. He wants to live for 70 more years. Daddy, we will grow old together, okay? Nancy said to her father. Yes, honey, we will grow old together, he said to Nancy. Then Nancy smiled. She gave her daddy a big hug.
Okay. And did you have any questions about what you read?
No, I haven't.
Good. Could you summarize for what you just read?
Nancy is a little girl. She's only 5 years old, and her father is 30 years old. But they both want live more and then they won't be 100 years old.
Hmm.
And Nancy is happy uh, that they will grow old together.
Okay, good. All right, so now Miad, could I get you to unmute your microphone and read the same for us?
Okay. Nancy wants to live a long time. She wants to live for 100 years. She is 5 years old now. She wants to live 95 more years. Then she will be 100. Her father is 30 years old. He wants to live a long time too. He wants to live for 100 years. He he wants to live for 70 more years. Daddy, we will grow old together. Okay? Nancy said to her father, "Yes, honey, we will grow old together." He said to Nancy. Uh, then Nancy smiled. She gave her father a big hug.
Okay, great. Do you have any questions about what you just read?
No,
Okay, great for you. Could you summarize what you read?
okay. Nancy and her father want to live 100 years. So Nancy needs to have uh, to have 95 more years, and her father needs to have 70 more years.
Hmm.
So they will grow together.
They will grow old together. Very nice. Well, all three of you are very good readers, so thank you very much for that. I really
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that. Now, we're going to ask a few questions, and I want you to talk for maybe 30 seconds on these questions as they are being asked to you. I'll be listening to the way that you speak. I'll listen to your tone, and pretty much not so much that it's the grammar, but the understanding. Am I understanding you? So, Roxana, how long does Nancy want to live? Roxana?
Nancy wants to live for 100 years.
Nancy wants to live for 100 years. And what do you think she might want to grow up to be? You can make something up. I just want you to involve yourself in conversation. What do you think she might want to be? She's 5 years old now, and she wants to live to be 100.
Oh, I don't understand. What should
Well, if you were Nancy and you wanted to live to be 95, or you wanted to live 95 more years, what would you like to do in
to
the
do
next
in
for
my
life?
life?
Yes, in your life.
Yeah, okay, maybe Nancy wants. Um, I know that Nancy wants to grow up with her daddy, and maybe she wants to spend a lot of time with her parents
Hmm.
and daddy too. And I think she wants to do something interesting in her life. Maybe have a good, interesting job and spend a lot of time with her parents and her friends.
Okay, good. Thank you, Roxana. Natalia, does Nancy want to live to be 100 years old? And why do you think she wants to be 100 years old?
Yes, Nancy wants to live to be 100 years old um, because uh, maybe she think the life is interesting, and she wants um, um, I don't know.
Okay, well, we'll come back to you. All right, me, consider yourself to be Nancy. How old are you now?
Now I'm 23.
Okay. Well, we're going to let you be the Nancy that's in the story, and you're 5 years old now. So tell us, what is your life like, Nancy?
Again,
Consider yourself to be Nancy in the story, and tell us about your life. Tell about your story as a 5-year-old. Tell us about your life as a 5-year-old.
okay. I'm a child, and I love my father so much, and I want to grow old with him. I don't want to lose him. Um I decided with my father to grow old together. Uh, I'm enjoying my life as a child, and my father enjoys his life as a father. I love him so much, and he loves me.
Okay, good. And Helio, how are you today?
I'm fine.
Good. Helio, I'm going to ask you to read the story, and then I'm going to come to you and ask you a few questions. Will that be all right?
Okay.
Could
But
you read? Could you read
okay,
here?
okay.
Could you read here for us?
Okay. Nancy wants to live a long time. She wants to live for 100 years. She is 5 years old. She wants to live 9 more years. Then she will be 700. Her father is 20 years old. He wants to live a long time too. He wants to live for 100 years. He wants to live for 70 more years. Daddy, we will grow old together, okay? Nancy said. Here is my. She have had a big hunter.
She gave her daddy a big hug. Did you understand what you read, Helio?
No,
All
not
right.
so much.
All right. Let's take a look at what it says. Nancy wants to live a long time. Who wants to live a long time, Helio?
Nancy.
And she wants to
The,
live. She wants to live to be 100 years old. How old does Nancy want to live to be?
100 years old.
Good. She's 5 years old now. How old is Nancy right now?
She has a children. She have a 5 years old.
No, she doesn't have children. She's only 5 years old. Nancy is only 5 years old.
Okay, okay.
So how old is Nancy?
Nancy have 5 years old.
Nancy's
20
five.
years
Nancy's
old.
5 years old. How old is Nancy? How old is
5 years
five?
years old, and she
Good.
wants to live more than 95 years old.
Good.
Okay.
And how old will she be in 95 years?
And she be 100.
Good. How old is her father?
Father is 30 years old.
Does he want to live a long time?
Yeah,
Does her father want to live a long time?
yes.
And how old does her father want to live to be?
And 100 years.
And how old is her father now?
And he want to live 70 years, more than 70 years.
Okay. But how old is he now?
How old
Yeah,
he's
what's
now?
what's his age now?
And 30 years.
His father's 30 years old now.
Yeah.
And does Nancy give her father a big hug?
Yes, she gave.
Good. Can you summarize what you just read for us? Can you tell us 3 things about what you just read?
Did you ask me?
Yes. Could you tell us 3 things that you read?
And do you want that I read
Mm-hmm.
three things that you have read. The Nancy have 5 years old, and your father have 30 years old, and Nancy want to live more than 100 years old.
Good. Well, I don't know if she wants to live more than 100. She wants to live to be 100.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a little bit of a difference. All right. So now, Roxana, can you answer how many more years must Nancy live to reach 95 years of age?
She must live for 90 years.
Okay. She wants to live to be 100. She's 5 years old now. So how many years must she live to reach 95? She's 5 years old now. How many years?
Yes, she must reach 100 or 95 years of age.
Okay, but listen to the question.
Okay.
Nancy is 5 years old now. How many years will she live to reach 95?
90 years.
Good.
She must
90.
live.
She will live 90 more years. And Natalia, how old is Nancy's father now?
Nancy's father is 30 years old now.
And Natalia, if Nancy's father lives to be 100 years old, how many more years must he live?
He must live 70 years old.
He must live 70 more years.
70 more years.
Okay, if Nancy's father lives to be 100 years old, how many more years must he live, Natalia?
He must live 70 more years.
Good, very good. Mead, does Nancy want to grow old with her father?
Yes, she does.
Yes, she does. And how old do they both want to live to be?
They want to be 100 years old.
They both want to live to be 100 years old. Excellent. All right. Any questions about we have talked about or read so far? And you guys are doing really wonderful with this reading passage. So now what we're going to do is take a look at more questions, and I want you to use some vocabulary that may be a little uncomfortable for you. And if you can't think of vocabulary, I will give you some vocabulary. So let's look at this one for Natalia. Natalia, can you give me some vocabulary words that are not listed here? And I'd like for everyone else to give me one word for Natalia. I'll give you this word, situation. Roxana, can you give me a word for Natalia?
Opportunity.
Opportunity. Mead, can you give me a word?
Any word?
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
Interested. And Helio, can you give me a word?
About Natalia, it's intelligent.
Okay, it would be intelligent. And Natalia, can you give me a word for yourself?
Beautiful.
Okay. And this one is going to be for Roxana. Roxana, can you give me a word for yourself?
Maybe development.
Okay, and I'm going to give the word intermediate. And Mead, can you give me a word for Roxana?
kind,
Okay, and Natalia.
Wonderful.
Good. And this one is going to be for Mead. Mead, can you give me a word for yourself?
warm-hearted.
Warm-hearted?
Yes.
Is that okay? And I'll give you Helio, can you give me a word for Mead?
Um, amazing.
And Roxana?
Family.
I'm sorry?
Family.
Family?
Family. Yeah.
And Mead, can you give me a word? Nope. I need one from Natalia, I think. Natalia?
Smart.
Okay, and this one's for Mead. Mead, what word would you like to give yourself?
Honey.
Okay, that was Roxana, I think.
Yes.
Okay, Mead, what word would you like to give yourself? And Helio, can you give me a word?
Beautiful.
Oh, wait. Is this not Mead up here? Who is this?
Beautiful.
Okay. I've given you words. I need Helio. Okay, Helio, we've got. Okay, what words can we give Helio? Everyone give me a word.
I am interesting. Interesting.
Okay. Has everyone given me a word for Helio?
Careful.
Okay. Careful. Anyone else?
Health.
Health. All right. And then I will do this one. Everyone give me a word. Can everyone give me a word?
Happiness.
Okay. And I'll give myself grateful. Anyone else?
Adult.
Independent.
Anyone else?
Adult.
And powerful.
Okay. So this is what we're going to do now. We're going to tell a story using the words that are here in the top and the vocabulary words that we just added. The reason we're adding these words is to help you build your vocabulary and your conversational speed, flow, and comprehension. I'm going to pull words from the story as I make up my own mini story about a long life, or you could make your story about anything that you wish, but you must use all of the words that are in your dialog box. So here's my story. A long time ago, there was a little girl named Priscilla, and she lived with her parents. As a little girl, she thought she would want to be something or someone very famous as she grew up. She knew that she would grow up one day, and she had to plan her life to be the best person in the world. She lives with her mother and her father. They do a lot of things together. For example, they like to go to the beach, they go to the park, and her father loves to take her out to get ice cream. Her mother gives her an allowance every week because she cleans her room and does what she needs to do. Priscilla is a very independent young girl. She has a mind of her own. She knows exactly what she wants to do when she becomes an adult, and she does the things that she needs to do. She's a very happy little girl. She's grateful for her life, she's grateful for her parents, and she's grateful for her little dog. She's not a very powerful girl at this moment, but she does walk every week with her father after school. They go on long hikes for about 2 hours. He always tells her, "Honey, you are the sweetest little girl in the whole world, and I just love hugging you. If we should grow old and live to be 100 years of age, I can only think of the many smiles you will give me, which makes me want more smiles." All right. What that did was allow me the opportunity to use these vocabulary words, constantly think and talk in English to make sense out of the words that I was going to use. I'd like for each of you to do the same, and we'll start with you, Natalia. You can do this. You can do this.
Okay, shall I make a story about me?
You could, if you like, or it could be about Natalia. It could be about Mead. It could be about Helio, or you could talk about Roxana, or even use Priscilla or Nancy from the story. Whatever you would like.
Okay, I want to make a story about me.
Okay, go ahead.
One moment, please. My father give grow honey, hug, hundred live, my smile together, situation, opportunity, interested, intelligent. Oh, intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. When I was a little girl, I dreamed about a long life. I lived. I hadn't a father and a mother. I lived with my grandparents, but they loved me very much. They gave me a lot of hugs. They called me honey. We did all together, and I wanted to be beautiful. I wanted to be intelligent, and I wanted to have a happy life and live for much more 100 years.
You can think about the story. Think about how the story went and how these words were used in the story as you develop your own story.
Okay, I'll try. My childhood was interested. I grew up a happy child. I smiled. I was smart, and I can't use another words. I don't know.
Okay, so here's the word gave or give. You can use that one. You can use this one. And so you had all right, so you could read those. Can you read that sentence for me?
Yes, I can. My father gave me the opportunity to learn how to swim by taking me to the swimming pool on the weekend to practice more.
Good. All right. And did we have situation?
There were many situations that my father had to explain to me.
Great. Okay. Nice job, Natalia. Roxana?
Yeah, it is a story about my father. He is very cheerful person, very kind. He he's smile a lot. He smiles a lot and give me hug, gives me his hugs a lot, and very often he's saying, "Honey, it's a beautiful, wonderful world around us." Uh, um, and she always says me that when I asked sometime when I asked him would he like to would he likes to live 100 years, he said me no, of course not. Mm, even if we will be live together all this time and grow up together, I don't like it because I think the most wonderful years it's intermediate years. It's about 40, 30 or maybe 50 years old. Uh, because of its more it's best time for person uh, because you can develop it's best time to do your best development in your skills and maybe your education, and it's the best time that life can give us, and you don't have to grow up
Okay. Very nice, Roxana.
thank you.
Okay. And Mead, it is your turn.
Okay. I will talk about my father and my childhood. Um, my childhood was amazing. Um, but when I grew up and reached the age of 13, uh, I lost my father because he died. Um, I always remember him, and I would give him a big hug. In fact, I missed my dialogue with him. but I have a nice family, and I live with them. I live with them. Mm, uh, I would talk about myself. Uh, I like to smile, and I am warm-hearted, and I'm a smart girl. I'm a smart girl. In fact, I don't want to live more than 100 years. Mm, my mother always tells me that I'm warm-hearted. Uh, uh, I always like to help people and work with a group of people together. Uh, I like to give more than I earn. Mm, Honey, my mother is Honey. She always supports me. She's a big support in my life.
Okay, great. Nice job. Okay, Helia.
Okay, I will try. I was I will spoke about my father, and my father it's I love so it's a great man, and I think that he is very interesting. He is careful, and when uh, I was a little boy, and my father said that I'm not to believe in everything, that the world is not uh, is not easy, and really I'd like that my father live more than 100 years, and um, um, I'm uh, unhappy. I'm not living together with her, but I like so much uh, be inside of her. When I was young, my father gave me uh, a book that that talking about the life, and I love so much, and I love so much. Um, and I like when my father smile to me, and I think that so honey, and today he has he have 70 years old, and he is a man healthy, and and he's a honey man. He, and and I forgot, but about me, I'd like to know that I have a propose to speak in English, because when I was a young boy in Brazil, don't have a, a good class about in English, and I grow up without to know the language English. And and for the end, I'd like more hungry for us.
Okay, very nice job,
I don't
everyone.
know, I don't know if you understood what I
Yes,
say, but I
yes,
try.
yes, you did wonderful. You did wonderful. And I want to mention to those of you what Helio did in the end was something that I want each of you to try and do. What Helio did was think about how could he quickly get those other words into the conversation. And then as he did that, I'm trying to turn my camera on, but I'm not having such luck. But let's see, let me stop sharing. I'm stop sharing and I should be up. But either way, turn my camera on. My camera's on now. So Helio thought of a story quickly and changed it around and put himself into it. And you can do things like that 3 or 4 times within a conversation. Now, why is this important? This is important because when you are entering into a dialogue with other people that are speaking English, if you do not have a topic, you need to be able to generate conversation based upon some vocabulary that you already know. If you have read an article, for example, you should be able to take the article and discuss the article without having the article in front of you. In order to do that, you need to be able to use vocabulary in many different ways, such as what we just did. We randomly chose some vocabulary to talk about a story. In this case, Nancy wanting to live to be 100 years of age along with her father. So once you can do this easily with some simple text, you'll be able to take this same technique and skills to more difficult text. I hope that is understandable with what I said. What comment would you like to make before we continue? Does anyone want to add something to what I just said?
Okay.
Okay, what would you like to
I,
add? Hmm.
I understood what I say.
Okay, good. All right, so now we're going to go on to the next thing. Okay, now I can't pull up my document. My document will not pull up. All right, well, I'll just read the question to you and you can answer. Natalia, listen to what I'm saying and tell me what this means to you. This is your parents spending time with you, and you are saying to your mother, Mother, you give me nutritious food so I can grow up healthy. I want to finish that story. Mother, you give me nutritious food so I can grow up to be healthy. I want to, what do you want to say to your mother?
Uh, I'm sorry, can you repeat?
hmm Mother, you give me nutritious food so I can grow up healthy. I want to, you might say, Mother, you give me nutritious food so I can grow up healthy. I want to thank you for being a wonderful parent and making me understand that life is fun, full of things to learn, and I want to be a good daughter for you. All right, I'll give you another one. My brothers and sisters like to play outside a lot, but finish the sentence for me. Okay, Helio, can you finish the sentence for me? I like to
Okay.
play outside. I like to play outside a lot, but
But I don't like to eat this salad. I prefer hamburger.
good, very good. So, Natalia, you got the idea now? When I'm punished for things I do, I feel. Finish the sentence.
Sorry, I don't understand you. It's
Okay.
too difficult.
All right, Mead. Could you try? When I'm punished, I feel as if.
I feel that I'm angry. I don't like anyone punched me.
Okay, good. So what you're doing is just finishing the sentence. Talia, today I will take to lunch my. What will you take to lunch? Maybe you will take an apple, an orange. What will you take to lunch, Natalia?
I'll take some bananas.
Good. I will take some bananas. Natalia, the last television program I watched on TV was.
Was a comedy club.
Good. Helio, last night there were.
Last night, the word,
Mhm.
um, I was asleep.
No, last night there were.
I the word what do I tell me other sentence, please.
Okay, last night there were 15 stars in the sky. Last night there were.
I'm sorry, teacher.
Okay, so here's another one.
I could comprehend what you say.
Okay,
Tell me other phrase.
okay. No, I will tell. All right. When I went outside, I looked to the sky.
And I see a rainbow.
Good. You saw a rainbow.
It's more
Good.
easy to me.
Okay. Okay, that's good. That one's good. And now I'm going to come back into the session. Okay. So we still have Natalia, Mead, and Helio. So what we're going to do now, it is at the top of the hour. This is where we take the time to talk a little bit about what did we think about today's lesson, and I'll try to answer any questions that you may have from that point. So I'll start first. I certainly enjoyed today's class. Today's class presented an opportunity for each of you to speak what I might call on the cuff on something that is not written for you. You chose words, or your classmates chose words for you to use in a dialogue or in a conversation about a story. When you have the opportunity to do that, you're interacting with words that you know, words from the story, and building a bigger story. You all did amazingly well with that, and I appreciate your efforts. So, Helio, can you give me your final thoughts about today's class? Did you enjoy the class?
I just would like to say that I'm glad to you for this opportunity because I try to speak English in all my life, and now I think I feel that I can speak something.
Okay. Thank you for that, Helio. And what I do, my classes are all coaching classes. And in a coaching class, I give you lots of opportunities to speak because that's what you're here for. In my class, you're here to speak and practice and bring in words that is going to enhance and create a stronger vocabulary for you. The more you speak, the better you will become at speaking. Some of the things that we're reading today are very simple, and then when we make up our own story, it doesn't have to make sense, but our mouth is getting accustomed to speaking. I want to give you an example, Helio. When children are playing, when they're very small, they are saying some things that makes absolutely no sense to the person that
Okay.
is listening to them. But to them, they're just excited that they're getting words out of their mouth, and pretty soon the words will line up correctly and they'll make perfectly good sense to the listener. So thank you very much. Mead,
Okay.
could you give us your final word for today? Your
I have enjoyed with your class. I want to practice English more with the native speakers. Uh, I would meet you next classes.
Okay, great. I have a class following this one. So if you're following me, you will know when all of my classes are posted. So I want to invite each of you to follow me so that you can be aware of when I'm having classes. Natalia, could you give me your final words for today?
I like today's class, but it was difficult to make own story, to make sentences, but I'll try to do it.
Okay, and thank you, Natalia. And that is the goal. Just keep trying. The more you try, the better you become, and the easier it is to engage in speaking. Speaking is more than just reading. Speaking is actually talking about something while not looking at it. And you did wonderfully with that. So I want to thank you. So with that said, I'm going to say goodbye to Natalia, to Mead, and to Helia. Please
Okay.
follow me. And if you have questions in the, that you would like to ask, you can send those to me and I will answer. All right, take care. And I have a class following this one, so I hope you will join me. Bye for
Okay.
now. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Bye
See you
bye.
next class.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye bye.